Welcome back. So this is the last problem in this particular set of problems for section 3.1. Find the absolute maximum and minimum values of the following function on the given interval. So interval is 0 to pi over 3. If there are multiple points in a single category, list all of them in increasing order of x and enter n in any blank that you don't need to use. Okay, so my function is 7 sine x plus 7 cosine x on the interval 0 to pi over 3. Okay, so I'm between 0 and pi over 3. These are my end points and I need to look for critical numbers. So remember critical numbers. C is a critical number if f prime at C is 0 or f prime at C is not defined. Okay, now we are fortunately a trigonometric function 7 sine x cosine x, and these are going to give you good derivatives. What do I mean by good derivatives? They will be well defined everywhere. F prime x equals, what is the derivative of 7 sine x? It is 7 cosine x. What is the derivative of 7 cosine x? It's going to be negative 7 sine x. All right. So notice this is defined everywhere. So the second part for critical number is not going to happen. This is defined everywhere. F prime x is defined everywhere. So what are we looking for? Derivative equal to 0. So we want to see f prime x to be 0. All right. So that is obtained by doing the following. Whoa, what happened? Okay. Derivative is 0. So this quantity has to be 0. 7 cosine x minus 7 sine x has to be 0. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, why don't we divide throughout by 7? Okay. So you get cosine x minus sine x has to be 0. So I divided by 7, divided by 7, divided by 7. And this is what I have. What next? Well, let me take sine x to the other side. Cosine x equals sine x. Okay. So when is cosine x equals sine x? Now, those of you who remember some geometry, so let me maybe draw a picture. I don't know. I think this is where I get pictures. Yeah, there you go. So a circle, right? If you remember your trigonometry, okay, this is your center, you go around the circle. So here 45 degrees is where cosine x and sine x are equal, okay, at the diagonal. Over here and over here you get cosine x and sine x to be equal. So let me write it down. So here, oops, here what happens is when angle is 45 degrees. 45 degrees is nothing but pi over 4. Okay, and that fits within your interval 0 to pi over 3. Pi over 3 means 60 degrees. 0 is over here. So pi over 4 is where you get sine x equals cosine x. All right. So that tells me x equals pi over 4 is a critical number. Is this clear? So now that's the only critical number we have in this range, 0 to pi over 3. Okay, pi over 3 is somewhere here, 0 is here. So let's see, now play with this. You have x values, you want to find y values, y equals f of x. Okay, so let's see, what are the options? One is 0, then there is pi over 4 which lives in that interval, pi over 4. Okay, and the last one is pi over 3. All right, pi over 3. Okay, so these are the x values we are worried about. Plug in 0 for x, I get 7. Okay, next plug in x equals pi by 4 over here. Okay, sine pi by 4 is root 2 over 2, cosine pi by 4 is root 2 over 2. So that is same as 7 root 2 over 2 square root 2 and over 2. I should have made a fraction here. So fraction, sorry about that. So start with, okay, 7 fraction, upstairs is square root 2, downstairs is 2. Okay, and plus is the same thing, that repeats. Okay, so this, well, you have common denominator and both are halved, so it's same as equals 7 square root 2. Okay, same denominator, half, so they get combined, 2 root 2 over 2, so 2's get cancelled, that's fine. So let me make some space here because that's a large looking number. Anyhow, so now here, what happens here? Sine of, at pi by 3, substituting, sine of pi by 3 is root 3 over 2, whereas cosine of pi by 3 is half. So it is going to be 7 square root 3, so that's a fraction, and square root 3 over 2 plus 7 1 over 2, so that's a fraction, 1 over 2. Okay, you can plug these values in, by the way, guys, and have some approximations, and you will notice that this is the maximum. Okay, whereas this is the minimum. All right, so let's see. They first want absolute maxima. Let me move this aside, I can see better. For maxima, x is pi over 4. This is how you type it in webbook, simply pi over 4. And y is 7 square root 2. So I will simply say 7 square root 2. Okay, the others are not available, so anything that's blank you need to write capital N. Okay, what about the minimum? Minimum is achieved here when x is 0 and y is 7. If whatever you don't use, it's a capital N. So these are my answers. Your answers are probably different. There you go. All right. So this completes section 3.1. The next videos will be for section 3.2. Until then, bye.